Commands at all time, defend yourselves at all time. God bless, touch them.
Well, that's Uli Wegner with his back to us there. Grand old man of German boxing. I don't think he'd mind me saying that. I hope not. With some extremely old school corner kit there, taking care of Abass Baraou. And as Matt was outlining, this is something that Sauerland have done for a long time. They've taken a very successful amateur out of those amateur ranks, and they will look to build him as a professional. But O'Donnell will not be an easy fight. As mentioned, he's won titles. Won that Commonwealth title, the English title, fell short for the British title. He's just been inactive recently. He was slightly over on the scales yesterday, but his trainer Barry O'Connell told me that was purely because he had a drink on the way to the weigh-in. He was told not to, but he did it anyway. And the 8 ounces he was over was probably exactly what he consumed. So he just went and had a quick run, got rid of that. There was no problem with it. O'Donnell in the silver, Baraou in the black. Interesting decision made by the German fighter not to hang around for Tokyo 2020 after the success of 2017 with the gold at the Euros and a bronze at the World Championships. He won the Chemistry Cup too. You'd have said that the chances of him qualifying and then doing well, maybe medaling at the Olympics, were good, but it's 3 years away, and instead, Matt, he decided to strike while the iron was hot and his stock was high.
Yeah, and you know, he's 24 years old now, so had he awaited, he would have been 25, going 26, and then all of a sudden, you know, he hasn't really got time on his side then, where if he has injuries or if he has a bit of a setback, you know, time's running out really. So I think he probably got out of the amateurs what he needed. He got his apprenticeship. He'd had plenty of international experience. Maybe he didn't fancy sticking around and, you know, waiting and potentially getting robbed or not getting a gold. I mean, really, the only thing that could have topped his accolade of what he won in the amateurs really would have been an Olympic gold, and maybe he wasn't as confident of getting that. But he's, you know, I like the look at him here. I've only seen 2 minutes of him, but he stands well. He's got nice balance. He's rolling under shots pretty good, and I mean, this is a good test for him in only his 8th fight. He's going, you know, 10 rounds with John O'Donnell, who back in the day was a very talented amateur himself. Actually, an underachiever, John O'Donnell. There were big things expected of him, and he never really fulfilled that potential.
Won the German title early on, Baraou, and then won this WBC International against Carlos Molina, the former IBF Super Welterweight champion. That was back in February. Molina is an away corner fighter these days, a high-level away corner fighter, if you like.
Nice left hook there from Baraou, short. He's nice and compact here, very neat, not telegraphing, not winding up the shots, just staying nice and compact. That was a short left hook he landed on O'Donnell.
Final few seconds of round one. O'Donnell just popping out that backhand. His left hand didn't quite reach. Baraou just trying to jab his way in. Looking for the uppercut on the inside there, O'Donnell. So first round down here. Later on, Conor Benn, the latest step on the road for him. He's up against Steve Jamoy, who's come in at fairly late notice, but who actually is similar in terms of record to Laszlo Toth, who was his original opponent. His dad Nigel's been around this week. What's exciting about Conor Benn, Matt, is that he basically didn't have an amateur career. He had 20 fights, most of them in Australia, where the standard, with the greatest of respect, is nothing like as good as it is here. And he's progressing well, and we just don't yet know how good he might be as we just have a look at a bit of this bodywork from Baraou in the opening round.
Yeah, nice left hook to the body there from Baraou. That was a good first round from him. Very economical with his shot selection, picks his punches nicely and sets it behind a good jab.
So into the second round. O'Donnell just looking to try and lead off with a hook.
Baraou just giving the little feints there, and then a lovely straight right hand down the middle, partially blocked from O'Donnell. But I like the look of Baraou already. Very compact, just bouncing nice and light on his feet, setting his shots up behind the straight punching, particularly trying to get the jab going. Bit of head movement as well.
When he won that European gold 2 years ago, he beat Pat McCormack in the final, and it was a good fight. And McCormack, with the recent Boxing Writers Awards, got Amateur of the Year, which was well-deserved. A European gold, a World Championship silver. Be very interested to see what he can do at Tokyo, assuming that all goes well and he qualifies. Just going in and out with the feet there, Baraou, but not letting anything go. O'Donnell is looking fairly circumspect in this round so far. Then looks for that uppercut. He's looked for that a few times.
Yeah, hasn't quite found the range or the timing of it, just overshot it a few times.
It's a decent looking body shot from O'Donnell, well delivered. I don't think it landed absolutely flush, but again, he's looking for that left hand. He's looking to just draw Baraou in and then try and just clip him with that short left hand on the inside.
Nice straight right hands to the body from Baraou. When you're boxing someone tall and ranging and moving and they're kind of pulling out of range like O'Donnell is, you're better off targeting the body. You know, take what he gives you and then just try and push him behind a double jab after that. But you know, when early on, when O'Donnell's feet are still sharp and he's got that nice layback, the double jab, straight right hand to the body. That's good work from Baraou.
Short left hand on the inside there from Baraou. Just about got through, then looks for the body. O'Donnell let one go with his left hand, then puts a couple together to the body himself. He definitely looks like he fancies this O'Donnell, but Baraou has got the upper hand at the moment. Barou's, we've been saying, signed with Sauerlands, who are going through one of those spells at the minute where they're looking to unearth new talent. They're hoping that he'll be a nugget that they've extracted and will be able to polish, because champions are a bit thin on the ground for them at the moment. Here's Ivan Garbu. He's the reigning European Cruiserweight champion, now training up in Sheffield at the Ingle Gym. Johnny Nelson's seen a decent amount of him. He's had one fight with Dominic Ingle. That was against Mickey Nielsen. And now he's in with Lawrence Okoli, who has had his detractors in his career so far. But the simple maths is that in 13 fights, he's won the British title, the Commonwealth title twice, the WBA International title. And he's ranked number 2 with the WBA. And if he wins tonight, then he'll be European champion after 14 fights. And not many people manage to collect belts at that rapid rate of progress. So into the third, Baraou in the black, O'Donnell in the silver. Just the 2 defeats for John O'Donnell. One came in that British title challenge against Craig Watson in February 2011, and the other one came on the undercard of Mayweather against De La Hoya at the MGM Grand a good while ago now. That was against a fighter called Christian Solano. John Murray boxed on that card as well. He was a Hennessy fighter back in the day, O'Donnell, for a long time as well.
Yeah, I remember those fights, himself and John Murray on the De La Hoya card. Like I say, he was a really good amateur, John O'Donnell, turned pro quite young with Hennessy, and never never really, definitely didn't achieve his potential. He, a lot of ability, inactivity, you know, maybe a few issues outside of the ring as well, killed his career really. I don't know if at 33 he can regather the kind of form he did once show. He's just being outworked here. You know, he's not in any trouble. He's not being hurt with any of these punches or anything like that. But Baraou just busier, landing those straight right hands down the middle, double jabs. He's working the body as well, and he's nice and compact. Baraou. He doesn't really give you a lot. He's tucking up nice and keeps his hands good. He's got good defense with his feet as well, bouncing on his feet, nice and light on them, and it's very much a boxing match here between two, you know, very technical boxers.
Just popping that jab, O'Donnell, and then just sticking the shoulder in, just trying to keep Baraou off him. Let's go with the left hand, and it slips over the shoulder of Baraou, who again just looks for that straight right hand. He's not doing anything too expansive. He's keeping it pretty simple, Abass Baraou.
Yeah, O'Donnell's competitive, but he's not doing enough to win the rounds here. He's just being outpicked by Baraou. The right hands for Baraou, I think, are the big difference. Some of them partially blocked, but he's just busier at the minute. You know, nice feet there as well for Baraou, coming into range, pulling out, and then quick stepping back in.
So 3 rounds down, they're scheduled for 10. The WBC International Super Welterweight title on the line, which currently is in the possession of the man you're looking at. Stepped up to the 10-round distance pretty early on in his career, won a German national title after just a couple of fights.
Seems to me, Andy, the type of guy that's probably going to go the distance a lot in his career. Nice boxer, very compact, doesn't make many mistakes, doesn't seem to carry massive power, more of a boxer, but he's very good at that. He's got good feet, good defense, nice jab, nice straight shots.
Seconds out, round 4.
That's better from O'Donnell, put the combinations together, doubling and tripling up on that right hook, head and body with it.
Just letting his hands go a bit more there, and Baraou tried to come back with a left to the body. O'Donnell is definitely looking to be more aggressive at the start of the round here. Probably realises that those first 3 have slipped away from him, and if he wants to try and win this fight, he's got to get something on the board.
He's trying to catch and counter with that right hook. As the left hook comes from Baraou, he's trying to catch it on the glove and then short right hook counter, foreign back, but hasn't quite. Baraou getting his hand back up in time and blocking those shots. Nice body shot there from Baraou, getting that right behind the elbow.
Nice left to the body again there from Baraou, and they're just standing in range here. Right hand there did just get through, maybe partially caught on the glove by O'Donnell, who's never looked in any trouble, but there's been more level landed by both of them in this 4th round so far than in any round previously. And that's decent from Baraou. Right hand up the middle to the head, then just a little step to the left and looked for the body.
Yeah, nice little move there from Baraou, changing the angle to stepping across to make the angle so he can get the shot off. But yeah, action certainly has picked up here in the 4th round.
Well, O'Donnell started a little bit quicker, and Barou's responded. He's upped his rate, and that means that O'Donnell has got no choice really but to go with him. Right hand there looks a little bit low.
Yeah, I think that one was definitely south of the board. I don't think there's any malice or intent on it, just strayed low. Referee Victor Loughlin telling him to keep them up. Nice body shot from Baraou, finishing the round strong. Because O'Donnell came out at the start of the round, planted his feet, stood in the middle of the ring, and looked at Baraou to say, go on, let's have it then, let's go to war. And I don't think war's the right word, but it's certainly picked up pace here.
Oh, it's been a good round. It's been a good round to watch, and Baraou, as I say, he went with O'Donnell at the start of the round, and he's sustained it since then as well. Just pitching forward with that front foot, trying to tee up the right hand, finished on the left to the body. Shown some good variety so far tonight, hasn't he? He's looked for that slashing left to the body and landed it a good few times.
Yeah, he's got more adventurous as the rounds have gone on. He's took his time, setting the shots up, the straight shots up. O'Donnell, cagey southpaw, clever, you know, knows how to look after himself, good defence himself. So Baraou, cleverly and rightly so, not wasting energy, hitting arms and gloves, setting his shots up behind the straight shots. But as the fight's gone on, he's got a little bit more adventurous. He's looking particularly for that left hook to the body around the elbow. So he's expecting to pick the pace up now.
Round 5.
O'Donnell just looking to try and start the round well here, I think, just bouncing on the balls of his feet. Barry O'Connell in that corner with him, also Alec Wilkie just applying the Vaseline. The Lansbury gym, that's not far from here, over in Poplar. Very old school setting. There's a little chapel just off the side of it, out the back of an old Boys and Girls Club, East End Boys and Girls Club. Big boxing territory around here, has been for a long time. Some of the gyms have moved out now, but there are still a few left.
O'Donnell looking for the right hook there, feint the jab, turned it into a right hook. He does that little layback at times, O'Donnell. I think he's trying to get Baraou to reach, but Baraou doesn't reach. He gets his feet into range before he lets his hands go. Very well schooled, very technical. Again, nice right hand down the middle. You see that with a lot of German boxers. They're very efficient, very technical. They don't make too many mistakes. They're very economical.
O'Donnell was looking for that left hand again there, and he almost switched southpaw there. It was kind of a right hand lead, and then he just opened up with a left hand off the back of it.
Yeah, he was like a double right hand. He came a little bit square, but it was a nice left uppercut then through the middle of O'Donnell, knocking the head up. Good body shots from O'Donnell.
Solid punching from him, as Baraou, for one of the few times so far, maybe did just fall in a bit and he rattled into the ribcage, but again, no sign of any real effect being shown by either fighter, actually, to anything that's been thrown so far.
I think what it is, they're both nice boxers. They're both pretty sturdy, durable guys, but neither really carries massive power either. So I think this is, unless something dramatic changes, I think there's got distance fight written all over it. And even defensively, both are very capable. They don't take too much clean. They're very compact. Body shots going in there for Baraou, though, and he's certainly up the pace here.
Always looking for that left, then just tapping upstairs and going with the right to the body, keeping those hands busy. O'Donnell trying to answer back with the right hand. He's just ramped it up a touch in the last couple of rounds. Baraou, be interesting to see if he can continue to do that, because as you've been saying, Matt, O'Donnell is a good boxer. He always has been. And he's not looked in any trouble in there, but he's losing these rounds.
Yeah, he's just not busy enough. Baraou just out hustling him, out working him, higher work rate, outlanding him with cleaner shots. But O'Donnell certainly in the fight, he's competitive in every round, and he's well able to look after himself, and he's always been very durable anyway, showing a good chin. So I don't think anyone's going to go and beat John O'Donnell up, but he's not doing enough to win these rounds.
This is Sowlands in the middle there on his left. Wilfred, his dad, and Calla on the far left-hand side. Livingston in between the two Sowlands, who we see a lot. Had a long chat with Calla yesterday. Very interesting it was too, just telling us all about the journey of the World Boxing Super Series and some of the plans they might have for next season, and just what life is like as a promoter. Is something that he's been doing for a long time, something that he and his brother were kind of bred for, really. He's saying how his first babysitters were professional boxers. So the likes of Mickey Duff would come around for Sunday lunch, and him and Nissa would just kind of sit in the corner and just overhear the conversations, and that's where it all really started for them. He's addicted to it. It's a pretty common sickness, I think, for people who are promoting boxing.
I was just going to say, as are we all.
Right hand there from Baraou, just fell a little bit short. Good reflexes from O'Donnell. Right to the body there from Baraou, and then just held his feet a bit, and O'Donnell came back with a short right hook on the inside. As you've been saying, the technique is there with O'Donnell. At 33 after 15 years as a pro, he's just up against somebody here 9 years younger, who's just fresher.
Fresher and more ambitious and in better shape, fitter, beating him to the punch a little bit, outworking him. Very much a technical boxing match. Both guys trying to feint the other one, lure the other guy into making a mistake, but neither guy really giving much away. It's they're both very capable defensively, so not a lot getting through from either guy really. But nice right hand there from Baraou, and again, I mean, that's been the punch that separated them really. The right hand down the middle from Baraou. It's the shot of the fight for him really.
Trying to push O'Donnell back onto the ropes. O'Donnell again with a good bit of head movement, managed to get himself out of trouble. There's that left hand to the body. Those haven't had too much effect yet. Those are decent shots there from Baraou. Right hand followed by a left. O'Donnell trying to use the ropes, takes one high on the head and decides to go down to a knee. It'll be interesting to see what his balance is like when he gets back to his feet here, because, as I say, that did catch him high on the head. He looks okay. Victor Loughlin has a good look at him, but just look at his face there, and Baraou has just been chipping away at him, hasn't he? He's got some damage to the nose, some blood coming, a little bit of puffiness around the eye, some marking up, only a few seconds left in the round, so he should be okay to get through this one. And the referee has decided Victor Loughlin that enough is enough. And there is no complaint there at all from John O'Donnell, and that really tells you its own story.
Absolutely, he was a beaten man. I think the ambition had been knocked out of him. He knew he wasn't going to win the fight. He was second best in every round. He wasn't quick enough, he wasn't busy enough. Baraou was outlanding him in every round, and I think the ambition had gone, and he realised he wasn't going to win the fight. Got hurt with a shot, got hit with a nice barrage of punches against the ropes here, got head snapped back a few times, buzzed up a little bit, took a knee, and I think the reality was the fight had been knocked out of him at that stage. And even though it wasn't brutal or anything like that, the ambition had left him, and he knew it was a fight he wasn't going to win. He was starting to get caught more cleanly, and I think he knew he was a beaten man.
And it's good refereeing too, because we were talking about this before we came on air, and it's important that referees know when a fighter has got to the point where he isn't going to quit. He doesn't want to do that, but he's had enough. And that was a strong right hand there from Baraou. And here's the knockdown. He gets caught eventually high on the head with a left hand and decides to take a knee. It was maybe that body shot that really did it.
Yeah, good body shot, but this was a good flurry of punches from Baraou. There's, I think, that left hand there, that was the last one. Really, he took a knee. He was on the way down anyway, but I think he was, I think the fight had been knocked out of him. He was, the ambition had certainly left him. He knew he wasn't going to win the fight. He was starting to get hit more cleanly. Probably legs were getting tired. He was fatigued, was kicking in a bit, and also at that Baraou was turning up the heat. He was going through the gears a bit. So it was he'd had enough, and it was Victor Lachlan clocked that and rightly called the fight off.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Victor Lachlan calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 59 seconds of round number 6. Your winner by RSC, he's still undefeated and still the WBC International Super Welterweight Champion, Abass Baraou.
Well, it's a good performance from Abass Baraou. He was given a proper fighter in John O'Donnell as an opponent. When you look at some of the other fighters he's been in with, there was no point in doing anything else. And he just systematically broke his man down. He's been well matched so far, being in with the likes of Carlos Molina, Ali Funeka as well, another one who's challenged for a world title, but whose best days are past.